Well, you ever been riding your motorcycle out there one day and all of a sudden your steering, your handlebars start going all crazy and your steering's all messed up? Never really happened to me, but let's talk about it today. Welcome to the Superpilotish channel. My name is Graham Wilson, and today in my basement, I'm going to be talking about high speed wobble, the tank slapper, the death wobble. Yeah, it sounds, I don't know, sounds kind of bad, but apparently, like I've never happened to me. I guess I drive like a grandma or something, but yeah, I was just thinking about that, and so let's talk about it. Yeah, yesterday I did a oil change on my motorcycle, so I might be able to get on it today. Maybe it's not raining out there quite yet. Oh, and all right, so we got somebody here. Good old Dap Dairy showed up. No simultaneous sip today. Sorry, man. But yeah, so I'm going to be talking about my motorcycle death wobble. Dun dun dun. Change. I'm just thinking motorcycling these days. So what is that? You're driving along on your bike, and you know what? I'll show you a video of what it looks like. I found this one. I think it's a pretty common video that's been around the YouTubes. So let's check out this crazy wobble. All right, and I'll just let it go, and then I'll comment afterwards. And hey, Daniel, I see you showing up here. I'm glad that's not me. Okay. So, anyways, that was an example of a high-speed wobble, and the guy wiped out. I don't know. I guess he's probably okay. Probably had all the the proper uh, leathers and all that other stuff you're supposed to be wearing, and that looked like it was at the Isle of Man TT, and the Isle of Man TT is like one of these motorcycle races that see, like I've seen that as a pilot where I see people doing like really wild stuff, aerobatics and all that. And I go like, yeah, I could do all that stuff. I just don't have access to the plane, but I mean, I'm a good pilot. I could go fly all that crazy stuff. And then I saw like the Red Bull air races live and in person a couple times, and I can't do that. Those guys are way too good. And then the same thing goes with the Isle of Man TT. I used to think, not so much now, but maybe when I was a little younger, like, yeah, I could probably race really good on a motorcycle. And yeah, just like, I just don't have access to like I don't have the money for a really fast bike and, track time and stuff like that. But then I see like the Isle of Man TT, and I go like, nah, I can't do that. These guys are nuts, man. They just close off all the roads and they go ripping down these little small, ripping through towns at like 100 miles an hour, like insane. Like so, I mean, they're good riders, but better than me. But I drive a lot slower, and I don't do crazy wobbles like this. So let's see that wobble one more time, just for kicks. Okay, here we go. And I might even pause it here. Okay, so you can see here he's coming around the corner. And so what do you do? Like in a motorcycle, you're supposed to do all your braking pretty much in a straight line. Then you go into the corner, and then you kind of accelerate as you're coming out of the corner. Ideally is what you do. You get the best grip on your tires that way. And so I did a little research on what causes a high-speed wobble here. And this looks like he's getting on the gas a little bit too aggressively, which makes the front wheel lighter. Like, you can do a wheelie like that if you want. And then once you got that, then the wheel's not as stable. And then you start slapping the tank. Whoa. Okay. And then it's like, then this guy down here, guy with the yellow flag, is like, this bike's going right towards him. He's like, bike's coming at me. But there we go. And see right here too, like, I mean, it's so violent that it's like his feet are coming off the pegs, and like I said, it's never happened to me before, but and there's probably a reason why. And I have some after doing my research, because I'm all about the motorcycle safety, just the same as flying safety. Yeah. See, I'm very safety conscious, so I get into motorcycling and flying. Nice, safe, nice, safe things to do. So I was looking around. I asked my good friend Grok, like, okay, what causes a high-speed wobble? Okay, so according to Mr. Grok, my buddy, imbalance or misalignment of the front wheel. Yeah, makes sense. And that can actually happen on airplanes too. You can have the front wheel, if you got like a tricycle gear airplane, with the nose wheel and the main gear. I've had that happen to me a lot of times where it just starts the nose wheel starts shimmying on you. Not a big deal because it's you're going little bit slower. It's just kind of annoying, and like if you don't get it to a mechanic, you can cause a little bit more landing gear damage that way. But generally, oh, we got a shimmy. Okay, bring it into the shop. They fix up, replace some bushings. Maybe there's a damper on there, a little mini shock absorber, and that can get replaced or rebuilt sometimes. So imbalance or misalignment of the front wheel. Yeah, it makes sense. And like on my bike, I don't know. I don't ride my bike super fast, but it's on highway speeds. Seems nice and smooth to me. And then number 2 here was the improper suspension setup. So if you have overly soft or mismatched damping, so say you got a really maybe one of your shock absorbers is you got like 2 shock absorbers usually on your motorcycle in the front, and maybe one of them is worn out. So one will be moving up and down more than the other one, which could get your wheel getting all jiggly. I believe that's the engineering term for it. And so if your suspension isn't set up quite right, yeah, that can happen. And another one that I've almost kind of sort of maybe had happen to me was aerodynamic instability. So that would be if you got your Harley or something like that, or you get like for me it was an older Suzuki, just 2 wheels, seat, handlebars, and then I had some aftermarket bags on it, and I had an aftermarket windshield. And so if the windshield attached to kind of like the headlight and the handlebars, so if you move the handlebars, the windshield would move there too. And so for aerodynamic instability, you would have, like, say you're at highway speeds and maybe it's really gusty wind or something like that. You could feel it moving your handlebars. And so something like that, that could just start you, depending on your bike setup and everything, that could get you into like a wobble there too. The other thing Mr. Grok was telling me was frame or steering geometry issues. So suboptimal frame rigidity or steering geometry, rake, trail, or fork angle can make motorcycle prone to oscillations. So that is one thing you'll usually see all these guys that are getting the high-speed wobble. I'll get the old whiteboard out. And the guys that are doing the high-speed wobble, they got, okay, this is where I get to be an artist on my whiteboard. Okay, let's draw like a really cool Captain America kind of Harley. That's usually got kind of like a V engine in it, right? We got our Harley V. And then we got this comes out here. I guess we got a seat there. We got a gas tank. Okay, we got great big ape hangers on there. Oh, this is going to be the best looking Harley ever. Then you got your forks coming out here. All right, there we go. We got our Captain America. There you go. How do you like that chopper there? That's looking pretty sweet, eh? So anyways, that's an exaggeration. How if you have I think that's the rake of it. Okay, so that would be probably you could still get a wobble on there, but not as much as your race rocket. And those guys have, okay, let's see how I do here. Oh boy, we got an engine. I don't know, how could we do this here? We got something like that. We got this. Okay, that's kind of a bad looking. Okay, that's, yeah. All right. So okay. So here's my rice rocket, my Ninja. So you can see how the wheel is the rake. I think it's the rake. The angle of it is kind of more up and down, so that can make the wheel go back and forth. Whereas out here, it takes a lot more force to do that kind of thing than here. That's the idea. So that's why, and the reason is, so this would be more stable for the steering, less stable for the steering, and that's where even apparently some, from what I've read, apparently they have steering dampers on some of these racing bikes, and that is designed so that if you're doing switchbacks, you're going I don't know, through the chicane, or I don't know, that racing term stuff, that you gotta you kind of gotta flip your bike up to turn one way, then you flip your bike up over the other way. So if you have a shorter rake on it like that, that'll help you switch back and forth. That's my thinking on it. So it's less stable. Okay, so that's something that we get, and that would get you more of a wobble. Okay, the other thing that can cause your high-speed wobble is rider input or error. So it says here, if you're gripping the handlebars too tightly and making abrupt movements, yeah, like if you're just hanging on really rigid and not letting the bike kind of do its thing, apparently that does it too. Another thing was road surface imperfections. So, it can kind of, depending on the bumps, yeah, like Mr. Grok told me, uneven roads, grooves, or sudden bumps can trigger wobble by disturbing the front wheels to stability. Yeah, so that's another thing. I was looking at a whole bunch of YouTube videos, and that's kind of why for the thumbnail of this, I had a guy doing a wheelie. So if you look at YouTube videos, a lot of times the guys are showing off doing a wheelie, and they slam the front wheel down, and that's when the wobble starts. So that would have to do, yeah. So it's kind of like, okay, here's this input that goes into the steering and throws everything out of whack. So that can do it too. And I guess that would be rider input by doing wheelies like a maniac. And so easy on the wheelies, or I think it's probably more if you slam it down, it gets it into the wobble rather than kind of letting it go down with your throttle. But I don't really do wheelies. I never really have done a wheelie because I don't want to I don't want to wreck my bike, and I got to fix it, and that costs money, man. So okay, so tire condition or mismatch. So if you got worn, improperly inflated, or mismatched tires, so maybe different tread patterns, like say it's wet or something like that. Maybe one tire's better for the wet, the other one's not. Front, back, you could be doing some weird stuff there. And low pressure alters the contact patch, while worn tires lose their ability to dampen vibrations. So that's what the computer told me. That's kind of makes sense. Basically, keep your tires in good shape. Another one here that I never really thought of was high-speed dynamics and resonance. So at certain speeds, the motorcycle's natural frequency aligns with external inputs, causing resonance. Okay. So you ever notice that if you're with a motorcycle, every once in a while you'll hit a certain RPM or something, and the whole frame will seem to vibrate or something. Like everything, you'll see like those bridges and stuff that are all kind of that one famous picture, that one famous video of the what was it, that gorge something, Washington Gorge Bridge. I forget the name of it, where the bridge is just going like nuts, and then it blows up. Well, that was caused by like a frequency of the wind going and making it go and go and go. So I guess if you, for your motorcycle, you could have some certain vibration that you're going exactly at this RPM or this speed, and then waves kind of amplify, and then that gets you, your steering could amplify into a bigger wobble. Put it that way, something like that. And I've seen that that's happened with on airplanes. If you have not so much jets, but on airplanes with 2 engines or more, with propellers, if the RPM is off on each engine just by a little bit, you can feel the plane kind of surging. It's going, and you can like kind of feel the frame of the airplane going. So you gotta sync up a lot of I guess mostly big like bigger airplanes and stuff will have like a automatic propeller engine syncing or whatever, so that it's exactly the same and it doesn't get that funny surge. Anyways, that's sort of airplane related. And yeah, there we go. So after all that stuff, mitigation strategies. I'm sounding very AI today, aren't I? So one of the things that can keep you from getting into a high-speed wobble is kind of like I mentioned before, steering dampers. As it says here, many modern sport bikes come with electronic or hydraulic steering dampers to reduce oscillation amplitude. So yeah, steering will have, I had a Jeep years ago, and it has like a little steering damper on it too, because and if that goes, your steering wheel is going nuts and your front wheels are going crazy on your Jeep. So it's got like a little shock absorber there, steering damper. I know Cessna, I don't know if all Cessna 172s have steering dampers, but a lot that I've seen do have steering dampers on the front, or shimmy dampers is what they call them, on the front wheel. So another thing to get rid of your wobble is regular maintenance. Yeah, you should be doing that anyways. Rider technique. Stay relaxed on the bars, avoid sudden inputs, and shift weight forward during high-speed runs to keep the front wheel planted. So, yeah, just don't drive like a maniac, something like that. And then bike setup, adjust suspension damping, and ensure your tires match the bike's requirements. Avoid poorly designed aftermarket parts. Okay. So, and if you get into a wobble, I got that highlighted. So if you get into a wobble, it says gradually reduce speed, avoid hard braking, and let the bike self-correct with light steering input. So that makes sense to me that you would be, okay, don't just jam on the brakes because that's going to be all goofy. So kind of take your hand off the throttle. So, and that actually will give you a little bit more weight if you're slowing down, more weight on the front wheel, make it a little bit more stable, and then hang on to the handlebars. Don't fight it so much. But that would make sense that, like, if you're hanging on to the bars, not really lightly, but firmly, we'll say, your arms will act like a steering damper built right in. So just kind of, just kind of hang on. Don't fall off like this guy. Well, let's see that again. One more video. Yeah. All right. Whoops. Let's try this one. Okay. Don't be this guy. That's the rule. Just don't do that. You see that? Don't do that. And you see the bike sliding down there? Yeah. Don't let your bike do that. And then when you're coming around the corner, make sure you keep your feet on the pegs, not like this guy. And yeah, see that? Just don't do that. And you will be just fine and safe. All right. And yeah, so speed wobble on motorcycles is caused by a mix of mechanical, environmental, and rider related factors, including wheel balance, improper suspension, aerodynamic issues, frame geometry, rider input, road conditions, tire problems, and high speed resonance. So keep that all in mind, but just don't drive like a maniac. You're probably good. I mean, I don't know. I've had, my bikes have been in pretty bad shape in years ago when I was broke, or more broke than now. Yeah, well, it's funny. Once you're broke, you kind of you always consider yourself broke, even though you might be doing okay, kind of. But yeah, but it's yeah. I've had some pretty crappy tires on my motorcycle and chains and yeah. Well, I didn't have the money to fix it up, so. And motorcycles are cool, even if they're falling apart, I guess. So yeah, so that's about it here. And we'll kind of do a little wrap up here with our a little bit of comments, questions. Keep a digital copy of that chopper. Okay, here you go. Daniel, you can do a screenshot because this is like super awesome. Run, get your motor running. Head out on the highway. There you go. That was for you, Daniel. And yeah. All right. And Dap Dairy. I don't know if you've been here before, Dap Dairy, but welcome if it's your first time. I forget. Okay, the wheels are like gyroscopes that resist changing direction, right? So I'm surprised the wobble is even possible. Yeah, well, it's that you're right there that they are basically gyroscopes there. So, and yeah, without getting too physicsy and stuff like that. And yeah, see, those gyroscopes, like an airplane propeller, behaves like a front wheel on your motorcycle too. So, the whatever force is getting put into that wheel is felt 90 degrees to the force. Yeah. So that's actually how you steer your. Here's my motorcycle wheel. Okay. I got my shocks here like that. So, yeah. So, what you do is if you are going to be turning, okay, let's see. We'll say I'm rolling down this way, rolling down the highway. Okay. So, it's going that way. If I have my handlebars here and I'm going to push with my right hand and a force, let me see here, it's going like that. So I'm pushing with my right hand, pulling with my left hand, so a force is going here. It is felt here, so your bike banks over. So if you turn your yeah, it's kind of funny that like that'll twist, so that it goes like that is the force. It's felt 90 degrees here, and that makes your bike bank over like that, and then you start turning around the corner. So yeah, so if you have uneven shock absorbers there, if it's going up and down there, like you say, because you got one shock absorber here, one shock absorber here, and they're moving up and down at a different rate, and even just a little rate, that force is felt at the front or the back as you're rolling. So the force up and down here is felt in the front, making your wheel wobble like that. That's my explanation with my motorcycle wheel. So there we go. And oh, okay, cool. So it was your first time, Dap. Very cool. So welcome. And cool. And Daniel now gets it. Excellent. Well, I always kind of like teaching somebody something here, or I don't know. This is a good knowledge spreading tool. This little camera and this little computer and this YouTube's. So yeah, anyways, that's about it for today. Today's Friday. So pizza day. I don't know. Still might do barbecue if the weather's good. Hard to say. Either way, barbecue or pizza on Friday is pretty good. And yeah, so I'll be back on Monday because I do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Eastern. And yeah, we'll just kind of shut her down here. So thanks for showing up in the chat there, guys. And thank you for watching. Bye.